Welcome to the Doug and Commish Show. This is the Week 4 edition. We are reviewing the games from Week 3. Commish, last week you went 3-3 as far as the predictions. Obviously not your greatest of weeks that you've had, but nonetheless, we're still going to go through, see why you missed what you missed, and review the games. The first one we're going to start off with is Doughboy versus New Guy, which you picked Doughboy here because you said New Guy was going to be
0-13. That's what I said from the get-go, yes.
And Doughboy was led by 27 from Mark Sanchez and 37 from Wes Welker.
The Doughboy didn't play Romo because of the rib, which turned out to be a great decision.
Yep.
That's not going to happen again. The Dirty's not going to put up 20 points in games very often. But they were behind for the first time, right?
And they were throwing frequently. But the Wes Welker, 37 points. That Patriots offense looks scary.
Welker looks scary. Yeah. That's 2 games now that Welker has won on his own for the Doughboy.
Yeah.
Remember week 1 with the 99.5-yard touchdown?
Exactly.
Woke up 8 days later and found out he won?
Yeah. And then New Guy is really struggling. I mean, Vic had 12, which are double digits, but I think he's really planning on 20 to 25 from Vic. At least he was hoping for it, and he just isn't getting it.
No, the Eagles' dream team is hitting a reality, and he's in trouble there.
Also, he had Mike Wallace, but really other than that, the rest of his team, he had 3 points between his... Actually, he had, I take it back, not 3 points. He had 1 point from both of his running backs.
Yeah, it's tough. But the good news is, I believe that he had some nice points out of his running backs on the bench. Is that
let me double check on that. Yes, he did.
So at least there's some light at the end of that tunnel.
Just a matter of picking the right game. Anyway, but New Guy falls to 0-3, and Doughboy goes to 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. That's nice to see the old man, old and steady.
Yep.
3-0.
Next game is the Show versus Nappy, and here you picked Nappy.
Yes,
and
I did.
Nappy actually ended up getting the steamer of the week, and he actually ended up having 23 points from Calvin Johnson, who just continues to impress.
He's awesome. Not only did I pick Nappy, I picked Nappy with ease. I said that this would be a blowout almost. Yeah. So I was a touch off on that. Calvin Johnson's a freak. The Show... What can I say? I mean, he came through. Yeah. I mean, he just rallied the troops. He said, "Hey, we're injured. We're missing Arian Foster." We rallied the troops against one of our arch rivals, the Nappy. And what can you say? They showed up big.
Yep. Ray Rice, Drew Brees had great days for him. Jimmy Graham had another good day. And even his defense and his kicker were able to get into double digits.
Drew Brees is playing phenomenal this year.
Yeah, and that takes that group to 2-1 there with Show and Nappy leading the Shula division. Next game we have, continuing on the Shula theme, Bean playing Nips. You picked Nips here.
I did. I took some Nips because, the more that I was talking to my sources about Doug's team, Doug was losing faith. Doug didn't have faith in his team. And anytime that you have a GM that doesn't have faith in his own squad behind the scenes, I had to go anybody but that team.
Yeah. And obviously, kind of taking some injuries into account, Gronkowski, with Hernandez out, scored 23 points. Fitzpatrick had 23 points, and his defense had 19. When you're able to put up those type of numbers from those type of guys, you're able to score well, even though the rest of his team just absolutely stunk.
I will say, though, that Doug made a great decision in benching Freeman. We talked about it last week, about how... Fitzpatrick came in and he needed to be a spark. And that's exactly what Fitzpatrick was a spark. And I think that is what rallied the rest of your squad around Fitzpatrick saying, "Hey, hop on these right here. We're gonna win."
Aaron Rodgers scored 23 for the Nips. But overall, the Nips didn't really have too many people that were that great. Andre Johnson had 13, which you have to expect that from him.
Out of most receivers, you'd be like, "Whoa, I got 13."
Yeah.
Out of the Johnson,
it's bystander.
It's not what you're expecting.
Trash Talk and White Trash. Trash Talk was able to beat him 115-92, and you had said last week that this is typical. This is what you expect.
This is just the way that it goes. 0-1 for Trash, and then he goes 2-0 the rest of the way through the division, and then he steamrolls the Shula with a loss to the Nips. Then he, hits the home stretch. Finishes the division out and couple weeks to go. It's just the way that it goes.
Darren McFadden and Fred Jackson are scary good.
They are awesome.
Yeah.
McFadden, once he hits the corner, he's got speed that most professional backs don't have with power.
Now, it wasn't really that Jake had a bad day getting to 92 points and had some decent point scorers from Maurice Jones-Drew and Ryan Matthews.
In the rain game.
Yeah, but just didn't really get that much else from anybody.
No, I mean, like I said, when you are playing head-to-head against somebody that you're just virtually scared of, it's difficult to pull out a win.
The next game, Soldier at Toilet Town, and you picked Toilet Town here. Soldier was able to take the victory, and moving Soldier to 2-1, and DJ at 1-2. DJ's is trending downward.
I don't know what I was thinking picking DJ to do anything good. I don't know. I apologize to the viewers for even suggesting that DJ would win. Don't ever listen to me again if I say DJ will win.
Okay.
I apologize to all the viewers out there.
Now, Matthew Stafford had a really good game, as well as Stevie Johnson. But Nate Burleson with the 1 point. And, I mean, DJ was hyping the Nate Burleson train from game one.
Yes. Because he had a good game. Similar to last year when Javad Best for the Toilet Town had a good game. I believe the quote was, he's the next Barry Sanders. And then he goes on to average 3.3 fantasy points per game.
Yeah. Now, Chapman had LaShawn McCoy, 22. He also had Jermichael Finley with 26. He rewarded Jermichael Finley by trading him. Is that the whole, sell high?
It's a little bit of a sell high, but he did get some quality players in return that could boost his roster. And there was a report from an inside source that worked at the Soldier that thinks it's a racial issue.
Now, LaShawn McCoy, is he nervous that if he continues to score, he's going to be out too?
It's very possible because he's black.
Anyway, and then the last game that we need to cover is the Desk Jockey and Sass. That was the closest of the matchups here. And that one came down to home field advantage. And we've also often talked about home field advantage, but really if it came down to the bench, Sass would have still won. But Tom Brady with a magical 29 points and Ahmad Bradshaw with 20 points. Tom Brady continues his march, and imagine if he doesn't have the 4 interceptions.
Yeah, it would have been another. Well, that would have been almost in the 40s. Tom Brady is awesome. 2 of those interceptions were not his fault necessarily. So, Roper's got to ride that train. I mean, his name might as well be the Brady's. Because he's got to have 30 out of Brady with the rest of his roster.
Matt Schaub had a 27-point day for Sass. Nice. And really, other than that, a couple other guys, Neil Rackers had 15 points as his kicker. But anyway, Sass able to get there, and that takes Sass and Desk Jockey to 1-2.
I tell you, Sass had to have that game.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a must-win game for Gain.
Yeah, you don't want to go down 0-3 in that tough division. Anyway, we will be right back with the question and answer time with Doug and Commish.